Hey everybody, today I'm going to do a quick video on another video request that I received. So again, thanks so much for providing these requests because again, I can't say it enough. If you're feeling that you're interested in it, chances are there's a lot of other folks out there that are also feeling that they would like to have some more information on it. So this one is a recent one and it's from Andrea Sanders. So thank you, Andrea. I hope I did not butcher your name either. And she was interested in the idea of the external, idea of the sensing dynamic in us INTJs. So from the comment that she was posting, it made mention of different types of grounding activities and what types of things do I myself do in order to have that grounding. So it's very interesting that she brought this forward because it is something that's near and dear to me. And a little bit of background on it. The feeling of being grounded is very important for me. And the reason why is that when I don't feel grounded, for myself personally, I notice that I almost feel like just grass is waving in the wind, where I'm just not really centered and feeling that I have roots in my current life. So this is why I started my research into yoga and practicing yoga and went on into more of an interest in actual yoga therapy. So for my curiosity personality, that was important for me because I wanted to understand the why and how, not just do it. There's always the rationale of researching and understanding why this works or doesn't work. And again, I mentioned yoga in past videos, and by no means am I a great yogi or anything along those lines. It's more that's what's worked for me, and it does speak to the extroverted sensing interest that this viewer had asked about. So personally, Andrea makes actually a good comment on the fact that she's a dancer and she notices that the focus on her feet is something that helps her feel more grounded. And I can't agree more. One thing I noticed with yoga, the big piece for me, especially with my practice of Ashtanga, is you have a very series of very methodical poses as you go through. So you concentrate and really listen to your body with the minute muscles that you're engaging in each pose. And it is that constant similarity as you go through the actual poses that gives you a kind of sense of comfort. And a lot of them are very strength building poses. The other piece for me is it also allows me to get rid of some of the energy that I might have from feeling maybe a little bit frazzled or stressed, because it also does a dynamic piece of doing the sun salutations. And if you want information on it, you can definitely check it out or leave a comment and I can follow up with you on that. But a particular piece that I wanted to make a mention of is the idea of strong feet. So this sounds like it's no big deal, but it actually is quite interesting, and there is some literature to support the idea of strong feet. And what I'm meaning by this is the idea of focusing on the different pads on your feet, the front, the back, the big toes, making sure everything's spread out. I'm going into detail on this only because what I found once I started learning to exercise and spread out my toes, you can even actually buy toe spreaders. I can't believe this. But what happens is that you get a stronger base, and it ties to that mind-body connection, which I've spoken about before. But for myself, I find once I am focusing on spreading my toes out and not crunching them together, there is this feeling of stability that comes from that, and it's a mindfulness thing. And I know that's kind of a cliche term in some people's worlds, but it makes you recognize that you are in a moment, you're not just in your head. And the strength and stability of having a wider platform that your body is standing on is very strengthening for me. Plus, it also strengthens the little muscles in your feet that you maybe take for granted, allowing more stability. So I go into the feet piece because I feel it is quite important. The other piece that ties to the feet and the strengthening of the feet and ankles that helps me with my extroverted sensing is the poses that they have where you have to do balancing. And personally, most of the time, if I'm very agitated when I'm going and doing these poses, I find these poses incredibly hard. So balancing is difficult because you have to be absolutely aware of your surroundings and pick a point that you can focus on the wall or that type of thing. And it is forcing you to stay in the present, because if your mind is taken off that, then you're going to fall. So with this, it not only strengthens the feet, your basis, and makes you more strong in those pieces, but also allows you to get out of your own head, for myself anyways, because it is essential. You can't do the poses if you're thinking about something else. Plus, you can't force yourself to do anything more than you are able to. There's a lot of limitations that come along with doing these balancing postures. So if there is more interest in that, I mean, I'd be interested to hear what other people have to do, say, for their grounding. The one piece too that I should mention that is not, say, a yoga related practice is I find when I'm very stressed or I'm getting too much in my head and too many thoughts, I tend to have a natural inclination to lay on my back on the floor with my feet up the wall. And so I've read in places that the closer you are to the floor or the ground, I mean, outside would be even better, the more energy you're getting from the earth. And just I mean, I'm definitely no expert on this stuff, but it gets into the idea of the magnetic pull that comes from the earth. So getting there and putting a large portion of your body on it, especially your organs and your back, you're able to not have to support yourself. You can actually have the world, the earth, support you. I find that super helpful because it is something that it gives relief for my back, which especially is hunched over when I tend to get stressed or tensed. So anyways, that is my video on that. If there's, as always, video requests, just make sure you put video request so I can see it quicker. And thanks so much. I appreciate your comments and your video requests. I think it's great, and I hope it helps the community of us INTJs.